Guys, good to be back with you here. Obviously, got a great team here in Purdue. Those that follow the Big Ten know a lot of the main characters. Really well coached. Edey's tremendous. Got excellent freshman guards. They've got really good players, and it'll be a great challenge. So, obviously, they're got off to a 13-0 start. They're number one in the country for a reason. They're a really good team.
Chris, watching Rutgers play them and watching Rutgers play you, the way that Rutgers guards are able to physically impose some of their will on opposing teams, is that something you see as being in Bruce's future? Is that something that you see as being part of his game? Can Bruce and Ice together do some of the things that Rutgers guards can do, but obviously a little bit different body types?
Yeah, I mean, I think their length is a little bit different, and those guys are older. But Bruce has been a really good two-way player for us, and so far. And I think his defense and his understanding of how we play will only increase. But he's physical, he's strong. Rutgers is such a unique team because their perimeter players are so long. They have a 6'7" point guard, and their backup point guard, or one of their primary ball handlers, is near 6'8", so just a really unique lineup.
And the way you guys have been able to defend Edey the last couple of years, you used a lot of Kyle Youngs, and he was obviously good at those kinds of matchups.
Yeah.
Do you have something similar on this team, someone similar on this team that can do those kinds of things? I felt like maybe Gene had some of that, but he's missed so much time. I don't know if you could throw him into a Kyle Young against Zach Edey type of situation.
Yeah, no, I think Kyle's ability to be mobile, play really tough, be active, be physical, and yet at the same time obviously was undersized. I think this is an opportunity for Zed to really grow in his ability to defend a dominant post player. Listen, Zach's the most dominant. He's a human cheat code. He's the most dominant player in college basketball. We know that, so it's going to take a team effort. But they also have other guys that can score and other guys that can impact the game. But I think, this is an opportunity for Zed. He's now in a primary role. He really hasn't had this responsibility as much. Now he does as a junior, and he and Felix will take a large role in that.
How does a team coming off a loss like that, does that change anything from your perspective, knowing they've got a little bit more bite to them?
Yeah, just that. I think you're going to face a team that's going to come in with a lot of bite. They're a really proud program. Matt's instilled that. They have really competitive guys, and they've been hearing for 2 days some things. So there's no question that listen, I think when you're in this league, you understand you're going to lose in this league. No one's going undefeated in this league. And that's the reality of this, the depth of this league, and why it's consistently the deepest league in college basketball. I think the reality is you got to make sure. Listen, our guys have obviously a lot to play for as well. Their competitive edge can't be any greater than ours, but we know we're going to give Purdue's best shot.
Is Edey doing anything specifically different this year? Is it more just he's getting more minutes,
Edey,
they're looking for more?
More consistent minutes, more consistent touches. He's now the primary focal point, where last year was he and Williams, and obviously you had a lottery pick there that took some shot volume for sure, for good reason. So when you have a lottery pick and then you have a first-team All-League post guy along with Zach Edey, it's less opportunity for him. That's all it is. A few of the guys that asked me in the preseason, I'd have said, hey, Zach Edey's going to be in the running for Big Ten Player of the Year and maybe National Player of the Year, because his usage rate was good while he was on the floor, but he wasn't on the floor as much as we expected him to be this year, and that's turned out to be the case.
Chris, I asked Gene and Zed both just preparing to play the #1 team in college basketball on your home floor. Is it different this year knowing that it's Purdue from the Big Ten other than Duke from the ACC, or how does preparation go this time?
No, obviously we played Michigan State a couple years ago here. We played, we played teams that played Duke. When I was at Butler, we played Villanova, so an in-league opponent. I don't think it's necessarily any different. You're playing the team and the program and the scheme as much as anything.
What have you seen from your team playing those big games, Duke, North Carolina, Maui, that they can use for this game?
I think we're like a lot of teams. We're continuing to learn and grow about ourselves. We're a work in progress. I think, I think fans look at games, and so do in some ways players. Big games, not as big. In this league, they're all really big. Obviously, when you have, and I think one thing about playing a number one team in the country is it's a great opportunity. It's also a great compliment to Purdue in that program. It just is. And I think we've gotten ranked as high as fourth or fifth here in our time. And to be ranked in the regular season number one, it's a great compliment to them. But listen, I think our guys are growing and maturing. Our young guys are getting better. But we'll be as tested in this game as certainly we have all year.
Aside from the size that Purdue has, what makes them so good at getting to the line?
Terrific offensive rebounding team. Yeah, one of the very best in the country. They're an elite offensive rebounding team. I think that gets them to the line. And they do a good job attacking closeouts. Their guards are aggressive. But they've got really good talent around Edie. They have a 4-man coming off the bench / 5-man who was a 5-star. So they've got really good players. They're athletic and big, and Matt's teams always are one of the most physical teams in the country.
You mentioned the freshman guards. What jumps out about Braden Smith?
Tough, really tough. Two-way player. Can really can guard, can make shots, aggressive, attacking. He is a really good player, and going to be a really good player in this league for a long time. I wouldn't trade our freshman point guard for anybody, but I think Braden's a good player. He's a really good player, and going to be a really tough matchup.
Zed talked about the matchup with Baycott and maybe learning a few things from that and going against a guy with that kind of size. Obviously, he's even bigger, but what did you challenge Zed with coming out of that game when you broke down the film with him and went over how that went?
I think in that game, Zed let some of his offensive misses or not getting maybe early as involved as he'd like to affect his defense in some ways. And that's a maturity thing for him. He's got to continue to grow in. He's more than capable to defend bigger bodies. He's done that. And I think it's about angles. It's about awareness. It's about great effort. The thing with Zach is he's 7'4 plus, and they said he grew an inch, which is encouraging. The fact is he's just so massive in terms of how much he weighs. He's probably 290, close to 300 pounds. So I think that's, it's not just the length and the size. Sometimes leverage is a play. A leverage play is as important as anything, and that's where Zed's really good because he's really strong. Here you don't really have a leverage play against a guy that size.
The Northwestern game, they're big. I think he had 13 rebounds. He was like 0-7 from the floor.
Yeah.
Zed had a couple of blocks. Zed gave up some size and some weight in it. What did Zed do? What did you guys do that enabled you guys to force him to a stat line like that? I'm not sure how many times you've seen a 7-footer get 13 rebounds and miss all of his shots.
Yeah, I think he's a really good rebounder, really active kid, and I think we felt like we had the ability, if we could wall him up, to force him into some misses. Zach's really worked on his touch in his 2 years, and you might have been able to force him to miss some early in his career, but he's really accurate at him. So I think you got to make him miss, and then you got to prevent him from touching the ball and certainly getting to the offensive glass. That's where he's so dominant, is his ability to get to the offensive glass.
Only a couple more. We'll get to start with Steve in the back.
Yeah, everybody back and healthy for Northwestern. The result was pretty good. You guys played a solid 40-minute game. Just how important is it to be at full strength right now? And I know it's hard to play 11 guys. But
I think Steve. It's interesting that I shared that stat about the first time we've been healthy. I think it was good. It was good to see. I think it's good for those guys just to get back. It certainly did help us. We did play really well against Northwestern, but in this league, it's all about, how are you playing on that given night. So this will obviously be a great challenge. But I think the ability to rest Bruce some, Steve, was important for us. The ability to have, just some versatility in our lineups was really important for us. And it's good to have those guys back and healthy. And to your point, we've got to settle in on a rotation, but that'll be somewhat fluid as we get everybody back.
We just talked with Gene. Obviously, we've seen him the last 2 seasons, but not having him after what sounded like a pretty good preseason before he got hurt, and now getting him back, what can he bring that maybe he's grown in his game and you guys can use?
I think Gene's, for us, it's been difficult for Gene because, we had some moments in the off season where he was able to work out, but he also had some moments where he was out with various ailments. So he just has not had consistency. And as I've said, he's got to find his way. We played really well with rotation we've had set, so he's got to come back and find a way, just like anybody returning from injury, figure out how he can impact the game. And I know he'll do that. More than anything, again, I'm just really happy he's back and healthy.